This is a tutorial on how to get set up and started with Bitbucket and Rstudio to create and share packages with other collaborators. You may ask, well, what is Bitbucket? If you're already familiar with GitHub, it's very similar to GitHub. If you're not familiar with either Bitbucket or GitHub, let me explain it like this. It's a place where code writers can collaborate and share code and packages back and forth, similar to Dropbox, and allows them to share in the cloud without fear of breaking each other's code. Major difference between the two is, I think, in my opinion, GitHub has a nicer appearance, has some nicer features. However, to have a private repository, that means one that's not open to the public, it costs extra money. Bitbucket does not make you pay extra for this option. So if you are trying to do a private repo and do not want to pay, GitHub or Bitbucket may be the way to go for you. First thing to do to get started is to go to bitbucket.org, set up an account. I've already done that, and then go to repository. Go ahead and put the name of the repository. Let's call it new, and you create that repository. That should probably be the name of the package. Go ahead and it'll give you this web address URL for the package. Copy that. Next step is to go right into Rstudio, go to project, new project, go to version control, get, paste that URL. It'll automatically give you the project directory name. Make sure this is project subdirectory where you want it to go. Tell it to create the project. It may ask you for your password. I think it will. It's going to tell you very quickly that it's an empty repository. I already did that. And now you have a repository to start. First thing I do is make sure you have this little Git tab here. If you don't have that Git tab, you need to go into Project, Project Options, go to Version Control, and make sure that this says Git. Okay, these things here are items now in your local repository that you can share with a repository on GitHub. You click those. I'll show you how to share. You have a local repository on your computer, on your hard drive, and then you have the one in the cloud's Bitbucket. What you do, the first step, is you click anything that you want to send to Bitbucket. You commit it, which means make a message. Initial package setup, maybe we'll call it, and then you commit that. Now you need to actually send it to Bitbucket. To do that, use push. Click push, and it'll ask for your password. If you're familiar with GitHub, you had to type the repo name as well. With Bitbucket, you only have to type the password. Once it's done that, now it's on Bitbucket. Alright, let's get started with actually putting a package in there that we can share. To do that, we go into R, and let's say we've been working on this string wrap function. That's a user-defined function, and I want to start a package with that and other functions or data sets. You got to make sure those data sets and functions are in the working memory, so you have to run them to the console. And you can tell that they are because I type this string wrap, and it gives me back the function. Once you've done that for your data sets and for any functions you want to include in the package, your next step is to use package skeleton to create a package. Type package skeleton, and you type list equals C. We're going to give it a vector, a character vector of all the names of the functions we want to include. I'm only including string wrap in this function, or in this package. And it just created that very quickly and nicely. Sent it to my working directory. That's right here. And now we need to get the contents of that into our GitHub, into our Rstudio local repository. The way we do that is we go to where that repository was created on Rstudio, open it up, take all the contents of that R package. I wouldn't do the read and delete me, that's just nonsense. And you move it over to that Rstudio repo location. That's empty now, that NR package thing, so we can delete that. Alright, now we're ready to get started. Go into Rstudio, and you'll see, wow, all that stuff appeared, and we could commit that now. Initial package send, and we can push that to Bitbucket. Right now it's only on our local repository. We're sending it to the cloud. Alright, we're ready to get started with creating a package using that local repository to make a package. One thing you got to be aware of, though, are there some things you need to take care of Otherwise, R can't compile the package. First, that description, make sure you have all that information filled out. For instance, this is not an R package. Package should be called new. You'll save that. Notice it goes up there. We can commit it. Namespace, you need to fill out all the functions that you're exporting. So we're exporting string wrap. And then also, this is where you specify any libraries or packages that you're importing. In this case, we're not importing any. One last thing, all your manuals have to have titles. So for string wrap, this is the documentation. Make sure it has a title. I don't know what you call it. Wraps text. I believe your description may need filled out as well. Also, an R package. That was the name of our package. It really shouldn't be called that. It should be called new. Okay, you need to fill out all that information, including this stuff right here. All right, once you have that saved, you can commit it, send it to Bitbucket, and you're ready to get started with actually turning it into an R package. The way we do that is using a library called DevTools, Hadley Wickham's package called DevTools. So you just use install packages and then DevTools to download it. I'm not going to do that since I've already done it. Load that package. Right there, just loaded it. And we're going to use a function called install to install that package. And what we need to put in here is the path to our package. So we go to GitHub, there's new, copy that path. On my Windows machine, you'll notice that when I paste it, fortunately, these slashes are going the wrong way. You can either use forward slashes, or as I've done here, turn them the other way around. Once you have that done, send it to the console with install. That's DevTools install, and it will install that package. You see it's installed it, you know, because it says done. It may give you errors and warnings. Okay, now you should be able to load that package with library new. Yep, we can. And you can, let's get string wrap with a remove out of our working directory, and we type string wrap, and you'll see a namespace of new, and there's a function. Okay, this was getting set up with Bitbucket and Rstudio to create and share packages with other collaborators.